played here this week, he's won pretty easy. All the rest of them right down to the end. And that's what is helping him in these big situations. So let's just say this match goes close. He's won so many matches right at the end. He's capable and he's confident. He feels like he can win from anywhere.
Yes, their respective paths have been very different, as Carl said. 72% of racks won over the week by Aloysius Yapp, only 61% by Tyler Styer. But now it's a clean sheet.
Aloysius.
First to 11
Tyler,
for a place in the title match. Yeah, the winning numbers for Yapp: 67 racks won, 26 lost.
Aloysius Yapp wins the leg.
80 racks won by Tyler Styer, 52 lost. He's been very busy. That's what happens when you lose your first match, but it just goes to show that if you do stumble at that first hurdle, it pays to persevere.
Yeah, he's made the one. Nice cue ball control as well. Went straight in the middle of the pocket as well, kind of didn't wobble and go in, so straight out the gate he's found the sweet spot. And he's got a nice look at the blue too.
In terms of what they've achieved in their respective careers, you would have to make Yapp favourite. Styer's done a lot, but Yapp's done a little more.
That's the cue ball control we were talking about, Yapp. That was a nice shot he played there. Made it look super easy. Yeah, ideally it'd come a little further to the left.
Extension called.
Need the extension on the cue.
Very popular figure in his home country of Singapore. One of the reasons he supplied gold medals from the Southeast Asian Games, which means a lot. Silver and bronze medals also in the World Games and even the Asian Games. Now this 9-ball isn't as easy as he wanted it to be. The cue ball didn't travel quite as far as he anticipated, and we've seen these missed.
Yeah, he's put himself under a little bit of pressure here on the opening night.
Aloysius Yapp wins the first rack.
What you don't do is overcut that. If you undercut it, hit it into the side rail, the way the pockets have been playing this week, they will go in. And so Yapp draws first blood. Now that's the kind of 9-ball that boosts confidence. You don't want to be left with that kind of shot, but once they're knocked in, it does you the power of good. What a career Aloysius Yapp's had so far. He came very close to winning the US Open in 2021. That's the referee, Ben Taylor Fuente, who is well known for being a very reliable racker, as they say.
Yeah, making sure the ball's touching on the magic rack.
I was mentioning Yapp. That 2021 US Open, he lost in the final to Carlo
Aloysius Yapp to
Biardo
break.
after being well in
Leading
front.
one
He is a
rack
former
to nil.
world 9-ball junior champion. And he's had lots of success stateside.
Well, another look at the blue 2, and it stayed over near his corner like the previous one. Well, it got kicked, didn't it, and stayed over there.
So when it comes to the break rankings, Carl, if there is such a thing, where would Yapp be? Pretty high? Middle?
Yeah, he'd be certainly up there, not really around that middle area. Difficult to say really, because kind of just keeps breaking at that same pace. I've not really seen much variety with Yapp's break.
Extension called.
Seems to be consistent though from what we've seen. Keep putting that yellow 1. That's the idea. Not seen Tyler Styer yet breaking this match, but he's also one of the better breakers on the circuit. Where's the cue ball going here? Well, may be able to just see the edge. A little bit fortunate there, could have gone wrong.
That old cliche, a game of fractions. So, Carl, with all points taken off from a couple of years ago at this tournament and points already earned added on, as I was saying, he's up to number 2 in the World 9-Ball Tour rankings. Of course, Fedor Gorst is off into the distance. He's so far clear at number 1. But now Yapp is his closest pursuer.
Yeah, Mr. Consistent. Lost out in the final last weekend at the Scottish Open. Lost to Mickey Krause, our eventual winner. Scottish Open's been a tremendous tournament added to the calendar. It's a beautiful pool room, the Goldricks, pool and snooker. And a lot of the players come in and play the Scottish Open ready for this one.
Aloysius Yapp wins the second round.
Well, it looks as though this semi-final is going to be very different from the one he played up in Scotland. He was against the Dutchman Jan van Leeuwen. He trailed 8-3, pulled that out of the fire. Here, though, Yapp is 2-0 up, and Tyler Styer's contribution so far has been minimal. Styer, of course, if he were to win this tournament, well, he can book his visit to London in the Mosconi Cup, surely. If he wins this match, by the way, Carl, I know it's early days, plenty of pool left to be played, but if he wins this match, Tyler Styer, he moves to the top of the USA Mosconi Cup standings. Hard to imagine, in all fairness, he won't be in the team.
Yeah, he's become kind of one of them American players like SVB and Skylar Woodward. So we know Fedor's always going to be there. Types of players where, even if they didn't qualify through a ranking system, I'm sure the captain would be happy to be picking them. Still feel like there's a space for one of these American young guns. I've been saying it all week. Anyway, MVP for the Raiders Cup, Fraser. He's going to be raking in rack 3. There you see again, the one ball disappears. Doesn't hit him too hard, does Yapp? Just that little medium draw shot. From that angle, it looks like the ball 2 can squeeze past the 6. And it does.
Yeah, tight squeeze, but it definitely will pass. Didn't do anything all that special last year in the UK Open, lost in the last 32. Actually, by his standards, last year was a quite low profile 12 months.
Extension called.
He's having a good look at this one because from that angle, you've got to avoid the near jaw, just because the jaws on a pool table are so sharp. Yeah, you can just see. Look at that left one. Usually, if it's that, it won't go in. Oh, straight in the middle. Wonderful. But it's gone wrong. If there was a little bit of gap between these two balls, he could have played the combo. He can't now. He's come out the gate with a 2-pack. I think it's about to end. Well, I'll tell you what, if this bounces, oh my, what a safety effort that is.
Finally out of his seat. Although with nothing particularly appetising.
Yeah, played the carom. That was the idea. Where's the pink gonna go though? Needs to go. Well, that's gone really wrong.
Yeah, that's the problem when you play a shot as complex as that, Carl. He did well to make the carom, which was clearly there. The only problem was control of the other 2 balls involved. And look what's occurred. The indirect result might well be loss of rack.
Yeah, outside chance has not been taken. Didn't control his 4 ball. He got the first bit right. Potting the 8 with the cue ball, but he misjudged the pink 4, and now the jump shot's gone wrong, and Aloysius with an easy opener here.
Now this is a pressure ball. He's a really good cueman. Technique excellent. But there are no guarantees with this.
Confidence builder. That's what them type of shots are. This is all about the pace. He's got a nice little angle, but he's got to come a couple of rails and make sure you don't land him behind the 9 ball. I can only presume he didn't fancy 2 rails and dropping in that gap. I presume he just tried to draw into the 7. Now he's going to play the bank in the side, and there's an outside chance he puts the 9 down the rail. He'll send the cue ball into the 9.
Just nudge the 9 a little too forcefully.
I think he's got to play another bank shot. I think he'd have already got down and cut the ball in if he can. So bank near where his hand is into the bottom corner for 3-0.
It was bank, then bank again. And maybe he's looking to bank $40,000 first prize. Well, he's looking good in this semi-final. 3-0 up. Tyler Styer not yet involved.
wanna make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
To the Telford International Centre, where the 7-ball in rack 3 was banked in by Aloysius Yapp, and guess what? He followed suit on the 9. Yapp leads Tyler Styer 3-0, and of course, with the format on the World 9-ball Tour, he gets to break in rack 4.
Aloysius Yapp to break, leading 3 racks to 0.
History tells us in these high-profile matches between two world-class players, when you start to dominate, you've got to keep the foot on the pedal, show no weakness, because in a race to 11 this is still very much the early stage.
Well, he's made a couple of banks in the previous rack before the break. Is he going to go again? Obviously, if he can cut it in, he will do. That's the shot he'll play. He's looking behind the pot, so he feels this does cut. Not just potting the ball here, though. He's got to judge the cue ball. This is it's a nasty one. There's a lot of balls down here he can clatter into, and you've got to try and land on the red 3. He's missed the 2, so Tyler Styer, who's only had one visit to the table, Aloysius Yapp put a 2-pack together out the gate. This is an opportunity. It's all about the cue ball, this shot. Gonna go rail first.
Extension called.
Well, I think he's played that very neatly.
Yeah, that's laid to rest ideal. That float round the back of the purple 5. Even if you land straight on it, that's good enough, because the green 6 is next door. You know what, Phil, you don't always start off a match how you know, of course you want to, but this is 9-ball pool. This is what the sport is about. Tyler's got to stay in this. We know what can happen when someone gets in front by a lot. They relax, and the game seems to kind of always feel like it goes in their favour, but it's not really the case. Styer's got to knock these balls in here.
Yeah, good point, Carl. And when you think Styer, from the word go in this tournament, has been in fighting mode. Rocked on his heels by that opening match defeat by Juan Carlos Exposito, but refused to surrender. There have been some hairy moments, but he's still in there. In the inaugural UK Open, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz reached the final after losing his opening match. And given Styer's mentality and his unbelievable will to win, he could do the same.
Simon
Yapp
Styer wins the fourth
overcuts.
rack.
A very thin 2-ball, and Tyler Styer did the rest. He is from Waukesha County in Wisconsin, from the village of Vernon, not too far from Milwaukee. Other famous people from that part of the world: J.J. Watt, the American footballer, and the legendary guitarist Les Paul. As for Styer, individually, his biggest 2 wins: Kremlin Cup in 2019, the Texas Open in 2023. He was runner-up in the Wisconsin Open that same year, came so close to glory on home soil. If he were to win today, Carl, and this is a big factor, if he were to win today, he would guarantee, merely by getting to the final, his biggest ever individual tournament payday. Obviously, he's received more for being involved in a couple of winning Mosconi Cup teams, but individually, this would be his most profitable tournament.
Yeah, and you know, while the tour is growing, let's not be naive. This is all feels still new, doesn't it, the World 9-Ball Tour? Things are evolving.
Tyler Styer break.
Events
Training
are
3 racks to 1.
being added, to the calendar year on year, and Matchroom Sport trying to figure it out, trying to give the pros an opportunity, a profile to be a true professional pool player. To bag one of these so early on, that's big. He's got to look at the blue too here. He lost the cue ball a bit. Watched the cue ball after side rail. Nearly scratched in the opposite. That's because he's put too much draw on the cue ball. So a little bit fortunate with the cue ball. But who cares? He's on the blue too. He can go forward off a couple of rails and he'll be on the red 3-0. So if he gets this shot right, it's a great opportunity. He's digging down, so clearly prefers to play the stun shot off one rail, which is up to him. Prefers to kind of pump the ball, does Tyler, with a bit more pace rather than let the cue ball do the work. Yep, nothing wrong with that.
Of course, he's experienced extreme pressure. He's been part of 2 successful Mosconi Cup teams. '18 and the following year. So when you've been in that cauldron, you can deal with stuff like this.
Don't want to land short with the cue ball here. Straighter the better in this instance. See how he's landed a little bit short now? He didn't want to play this shot. If you land straight, you can draw back or go forward. Now he's got a stun into the green 6. And you don't want to hit this ball full. You want it to hit at the bottom side to give yourself the best chance. Yeah, you see how he clipped the bottom of it? He knew he could play it up the long rail then.
The pocket more accepting if you slightly overcut this green 6 ball. Didn't overcut that, he absolutely pinged it.
Yeah, often you watch matches, Phil, don't you, and think, oh, it's been very one-sided, but Tyler's showing what you can do if you take a couple of opportunities that you might get. 3 or 4-0 in 9-ball is not a lot.
I watched him leave the table after his first match this week. As we said, beaten in that. And he looked very dispirited, but he's shown an awful lot of resilience.
Tyler Styer
And
wins
that
the fifth
resilience serving Tyler Styer well in this match. 3-0 down, now though it's only 3-2. You know what's refreshing about this tournament, Carl? The fact that Tyler Styer at the age of 30 is the oldest player left.
Is that refreshing, or does that make us seem old?
Well, I think everything makes us seem old, particularly me, Carl, so...
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. You know, there's so many young players on the circuit. You know, obviously, every sport could say that, but we have so many young players that are at the top of the game. You know, when you look at the snooker, obviously the World Championships has just been on, and Mark Williams, 50 years of age, getting to the final. Doesn't really happen, does it, in nine-ball? Don't really know why not.
Thank you, rack 6. Tyler Styer to break, trading 3 racks to 2.
Will the break be thunderous? Will it be successful?
That was better. You can tell if you look at the cue ball and look at the pink 4. Oh wow, it's come round and dressed up. The cue ball arcs below the 9, and if you watch that, usually the 1 ball's disappeared.
And Styer, towards the end, was keeping an eagle eye on that pink 4 ball, because had it dropped, he would have been hooked behind the 9 on the 5.
Extension called.
Does he cut it in the middle and run the cue ball, or is he going to play the bank? It's going to be the bank from that angle. Cutting it in the sides, brutal. Oh wow, have you ever seen a ball rattle like that from that angle? Usually it bounces away, that's how close he got to it.
Last year at this tournament, all of the 6 pockets were extremely miserly. Now the corners this time haven't been, but the middle pockets retain that spiteful edge.
Yeah, you were walking round, you thought he'd made that shot. Just got to judge the brown 7 here. Pot in the 8s, no drama. It's where the brown 7's going to bounce to. He'll probably play for the brown 7 in the bottom right corner with the looks of it. It'll just squirt across, hold the cue ball there. And it looks like he's going to steal the rack. If he draws it, he's got to be careful he doesn't put too much spin on this and go in the middle pocket. That is plum.
I'll rehash a phrase I used earlier. It's a game of fractions. The attempted bank from Tyler Styer to the middle was a millimetre away, but it didn't drop, and it made an immense impact. What might well have been 3-3, in fact, is a 4-2 lead for Singapore's Aloysius Yapp.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
It is Sunday at a major world 9-ball ranking event. We're down to the semi-finals. When it comes to the match stats, well, it's a small sample size, but clearly the break is having an influential effect on this match. Mind you, in the first semi-final, even though Yapp won comfortably, he had 4 dry breaks. So to overcome that and win a match against the quality of Mickey Krause with 4 dry breaks, I think that just underlines how well he was potting. Yapp's pot success rate in this one, 97%. That's around the mark you need to be. Anything lower than that in 9-ball pool, and you're leaving yourself a little vulnerable.
Okay, Aloysius. Thank you, rack 7. Aloysius Yapp to break, leading 4 racks to 2.
You're right about his approach to the break though, Carl. It never changes, does it?
this time. You could see how close the one was to go in. Was it finished though? I think this is awkward for time. Let's have a look with the... Yeah, you see where it's landed there. That's brutal.
The one ball is frozen to the rail.
Referee Ped Talafuente confirming that the one ball is frozen to the rail. I think there was a little more oomph in that break.
Yeah, it's not the weakest of breaks by any stretch, but he's definitely more about that kind of cue ball. He's in a spot here. He's going to be playing the push out. But where do you roll the cue ball to?
Push out called. Aloysius, it's your choice.
Not a very nice choice. There is an argument to say, Carl, unless you're talking about balls being surrounded by other balls. When a ball is in the open, I can't imagine a more awkward place than that.
Yeah, it's nasty. I think the only option is for either player, whoever decides, but I believe he'll put Tyler Styer back in. Is he going to try and clip off and
Tyler,
just run up
please
behind
play
at
again.
the green 6? Yeah, this is awful. Can't protect the yellow one ball, that's the problem as well. Everything is about the cue ball here. Okay, he's doing something else. Striking down, jacked up. You know what? That is a fantastic effort. Played the double hit. Get the cue ball back down table. A little bit unfortunate where it's finished up, to be fair.
Extension called.
That's what Yapp will see when he gets down on the shot. That's the angle.
No potting angle for Styer. Potentially plenty of balls to hide behind though, but he hasn't achieved it.
I wonder if he's going to try and get back out for the blue 2. To pot the blue 2 in the centre. Just because that 3 ball's a little weird for the combo. Oh, that was not cued well. That might be his poorest shot of the week.
I would not dispute that assessment. Total malfunction, that. It seemed like the kind of shot you play when you're in two minds.
Extension called.
7 ball needs to come to the rescue. Yes, it has. So Yapp's going to play the jump shot. Pretty good with his cue, he is. Wow, how close was that? Hit the jaw. That doesn't matter. What matters is Tyler's got a chance here. Played a couple of nice safeties in this rack. Now he's got his chance.
Such a valiant attempt. Of course, with shape attached, had that one ball gone in where the rest of them are, 5-2 was beckoning.
Centre of the table will work on this clearance.
It would be a real boost for 9-ball pool in the USA if someone other than Shane Van Boning or Fedor Gorst were to make a major final on the World 9-ball Tour. What a boost it would be for Styer personally.
He needs this to stop because he wants to pull down the left side of the table. It's perfect, this.
You suspected when Yapp was sizing up that jump shot on the one, it could be decisive either way. Almost certainly it has been.
Tyler Styer
From
wins the seventh
3-0
round.
down, this is tenacious. Tyler Styer's deficit's only 4-3. Yapp doesn't look as though he's too concerned. He's extremely experienced, of course, and I think one of his greatest achievements, if not the greatest, was winning the International Open in Virginia in 2023 and then successfully defending the title when he relocated to St. Augustine in Florida last year. To win that tournament on one occasion, Carl, takes some doing. To do it in successive years, I think that underlines what a player he is.
Yeah, the ranking event, Chesapeake, that's what helped him top the rankings to get his cup team as well. All the world's best blue players are there playing that tournament. He's the real deal, yeah, we know that. Of course he is. He's in a battle here. This is a real tight affair. Tyler Styer doesn't know how to quit. He will fight until the very end.
Rank number 8. Tyler started break, trailing 4 racks to 3.
Okay, let's keep an eye on the cue ball. Let's see if we can get that arc in below the 9 or into the 9. Usually when that happens, the one ball seems to disappear. That was the perfect demonstration of the break shot. Players are getting chances off the break as well. I think you can see the blue too. Got to play a nifty little shot here though to get on the red 3.
As soon as that 2-ball went into the pocket on the thick side, he caught it really quite full. You heavily suspected the white wasn't going to be in position. Worse still, it's a self-inflicted snooker.
Extension call.
Blocking balls multiple.
Good hit. It pays to hit. Is he going to get away with it? Oh, I don't think he's left a pot, even if there's an edge.
Only natural this, with the stakes continuing to rise with every round. But
Extension
when
call.
you get down to the semi-finals, it's always the case on finals day. That intensity level rockets up. Well, jumping in rack 7 didn't work out. So the choice is to kick. He'll settle for that. Okay, he's left the edge, but could have been so much worse that for Yapp.
Well done. He's done all he could do. He knows Yapp should hit this. It's where it ends up. That's what's going to be key here. He's played it slow. Oh wow. Oh wow, that was nice. Again, maybe there's a little edge sticking out.
Carl Boyers predicted this before the match. The first semi-final was so attacking, so quick. These two both quite measured. They won't do anything hastily or indeed recklessly.
Oh, he's having a look at this. He feels like there's a slither of the red sticking out. Look at that. Oh my. Rather him than me. Been some very good safeties in this match.
At the age of 30, the mince pies are still working. Mince pies, Cockney rhyming slang for eyes. That was, as Carl said, razor thin. And it wasn't just the fact he caught the red 3 ball, it was how he controlled the cue ball afterwards. Now that was very good refereeing from Ben Taylor Fuente. He was right there to see whether the contact was legal or not. And it was just the 3 ball that was hit first.
Yeah, and it's going to be Tyler Styer who gets opportunity. In rack number 8, he's played 2 or 3 really nice safeties. And that's helped him get this chance. One good shot here. If he gets on the purple 5 with a nice angle, he'll be a big favourite to tie this one up.
Over the years, Carl, there have been so many heroic stories of players winning events, having played a bunch of matches on the one-loss side of the draw. Mika Immonen at the US Open immediately springs to mind. Obviously, this isn't pure double elimination because from the last 64 it is single elimination. But Styer's had to be so industrious to be here. And there seems plenty of petrol left in the tank.
Played that firm because he wanted to get out away from the rail because he needed a good angle here to get back down for the 8 ball. It's amazing to see the different styles of players we have. You know, the previous match where it was Mickey Krause against Jonas Suto. Suto was the eventual winner. If you missed that, he's booked his place into this evening's final. They They kind of just run around the table, don't they? See the shot. They don't queue up very long before they pull the trigger. Yapp and Styer a little bit more methodical. Can he hold the cue ball? Felt he couldn't. Does he want this to finish on the rail? What's this to bounce? Okay. A little further would have been nice, so a small test to pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Question mark on this.
Tyler Styer wins the eighth
Cool,
round.
collected, composed. Tyler Styer from 3-0 down now finds himself on level terms. It is 4-4, and what we thought before the match is coming to pass. That it would be really tight and very difficult to predict. Styer, of course, having played in that Mosconi Cup, I think that gave him some armour against pressure. There's no pressure like that, Cole. You've experienced it yourself, and when you've been in that environment, anything else maybe it's a little easier to cope with.
Yeah, once you've played in the Mosconi Cup, you can play anywhere. Nothing will faze you. There's nothing quite like the pressure cooker of the Mosconi.
Mind you, Aloysius Yapp excelled in a team environment in Manila. Last year, he was the MVP when Asia beat Europe in the inaugural Reyes Cup. Supplied the clinching point.
Rag 9. Tyler Styer to break. Scores are tied 4 racks each.
Rare dry break. Seemed to hit him okay. He's having a look at where this 9 ball goes if he comes off the top rail. I'll tell you what, that is not a million miles away. Even if it's offset, he can judge where he wants to hit the one to turn the angle over. I think he's having a go at the 9 ball.
Cushion first combo, we've seen them before.
Yeah, often when you come into the ball,
Extension call.
the ball you're trying to pot, it pushes it a little bit wider, so that's just what he's trying to gauge here. But if you look at that, that is literally set right into the pocket. Doesn't mean it's going to set off that way. It all depends on what he does with the cue ball off the top rail. Here we go. Bit of a trick shot to go 5-4 up.
Jeremy Jones is always saying, in 9 ball, you have to gamble. Yapp gambled, it didn't pay off.
Extension call.
That's the type of shot we've seen fall this week. Yeah, hit that one really pure. That was a really good strike, and look at where he's got the cue ball. Couldn't put that better with your hand. Coming down here to play the combo. Pink 4 under the green 6.
At least 2 aspects to every combination. One, making the second ball, but also retaining position on the first ball. Both tasks completed with aplomb.
He's dug in well here, Phil. He sat and watched the opening couple of racks. He was a spectator. A couple of breaking runs from Aloysius to start the match off.
As we said, measured players, these two, and yet the 30-second shot clock is no great imposition for them. You fall into a certain rhythm, and the time constraint easy to cope with.
Wow.
Ooh. We're always looking, Carl, for turning points, aren't we? That was the definition of one.
Yeah, there's been a couple of balls where he's not potted in the centre pocket and they've still fell. That's because he played them a lot slower. Couldn't play it slow. He had to pump it round, and looked like Styer was finally going to get a lead in this one. He's gifted Aloysius rack number 9.
Yapp is back in front. It looked as though Tyler Styer was going to move into the ascendancy for the first time, but he was scuppered by an 8-ball that no one expected the American to miss.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
A little bit of darts to tell you about this week. The Premier League heads to Aberdeen. It is week 15 of 17. Those two, Lucas Littler and Humphreys, have guaranteed their playoff spots, as has Gerwyn Price. But Michael Van Gerwen, Nathan Aspinall, Rob Cross and Chris Dobie are all still within a shot of reaching the finals in a few weeks' time. It is very much all to play for. 7 o'clock Sky Sports action on Thursday night for that one.
So from talking about a battle of the bullseye, let's take a look at a player who in 2023 won a tournament called the Battle of the Bull in Virginia. Aloysius Yapp.
Thank you, rack 10.
He's in front,
Aloysius Yapp to break.
and if he
Leading
can
5
win this
racks
rack,
to
he'll be
4.
more than halfway to a place in the final.
Yeah, it's another good break. The opening shot doesn't look to be an attacking shot.
You know, Carl, news of this match and the way it's progressing will be music to the ears of Jonas Suto. The one thing he would have wanted was for the second semi-final to be really hard fought and to maybe drain the eventual winner of a little bit of mental stamina.
Yeah, it's 3:30 and still a lot of pool left here in this one. Simple but effective, that.
Yeah, we don't want to be overly dramatic about the effect of playing the second semi-final, but Suto will be well rested, refreshed.
Wow, I didn't think that was possible. He didn't have much space to land the cue ball. What a jump shot.
Rich in irony this, he missed a very simple 8 ball to the same pocket a few moments ago and then knocks in that spectacular 2 jumping, going airborne.
This needs to stop. Oh, it's nice. That's another really good shot.
Extension call.
Where the cue ball came to rest, he didn't have the angle to get better on the purple, so he's backing himself to knock this in.
Without beating about the bush though, this is a shot that could go astray. Well, in terms of balls potted, Tyler Styer doing the donkey work in this match. That's 15 more than his opponent, who, at least for the next few seconds, is in front. In this semi-final, no quarter is being given. Once again, deadlocked at 5-5. And you couldn't really say, could you, whether Yapp or Styer is feeling the better. You would maybe say Styer because he was 3-0 down. But it's not as though anything major has gone on in terms of momentum. This match is still to be won.
Yeah, obviously the previous rack where Tyler missed the 8 can't be forgotten about, just because it's not cost him any more than one rack. It's not like Yapp's put a 2 or 3 package together. Tyler's just won the previous rack, so it's now tied at 5s, and both players just trading blows.
Much like a poker player, Tyler Styer has got a tell when he gets involved in a really pressurised match. His cheeks tend to become rather rosy. As yet, 5-5, no great evidence of that, but if it goes 7-7, 8-8, you
Tyler
watch.
started break. Scores are tied, 5 racks each.
Often a break can dictate a match as well. Good strike there, you see the one. Disappears in the side. What's he got on the blue 2? Something on the top rail. Yeah, this is... it's not really cuttable, is it? So I think he's going to be banking the 2 back down towards the 9. Use the 8 to lay the hook.
The 2 more kind to Styer in each of the last 2 racks. But of course, Styer knocked it in rack 10, jumping. Could Yapp possibly follow suit?
Yeah, some of the pros over the years, you know, we've moaned about the jump
Extension
chip,
call.
and this is the reason why Tyler Styer couldn't get the cue ball near another ball to take away this shot. He played the shot great, and he knows he's going to have to sit there and watch the jump shot by Yapp, and he'll hit the blue 2. We don't know what's going to happen, but he'll definitely hit it. If he wasn't allowed to play a jump shot, for instance, there, it would have been a brutal kick shot. Tyler took away all the rails. This is a tricky pot here. He's going to have a go though. Top left, cue ball off 2 rails.
Extension call.
threaten the pocket. Might well have left a very simple opener. That is not the case. Yes, the combination was there, but with the cue ball so close to the object ball, it was always going to be a little tricky.
Yeah, that will do. Sets this rack up nicely now.
Yeah, he acknowledged a nice little rub there, didn't he? The retained shape. But you're right, Carl, this is the golden opportunity for Styer to hit the front for the first time.
Run on a little bit, which means he's got to play a neat shot here. Needs an angle on the 8 after this one to get on the 9.
Lots of cue power. The main thing was to clear that black 8 ball.
Well done. Wants to draw this past the middle. You don't get into it, you may scratch.
Around the world, this game is often referred to as American pool. Well, the world is taken over in many respects, but maybe the Stars and Stripes will fly high in Telford tonight. And the reason for that, in this, he's 10th match in the UK Open. Styer is proving to be a stayer. 6-5 up from 3-0 down. Carl, you've been around Mosconi Cup team rooms. You know exactly the makeup of Tyler Styer. I think his biggest asset is just pure determination.
Yeah, never gives in. It doesn't matter what shot he his face really. You don't see him just whacking the balls around or sitting in his chair sulking. He's just up for it.
I think the other motivation for Styer is that he's one of those players, I think this applies to everyone but in different degrees, he's one of those players who just hates to lose.
Yeah, throw the fact that he's desperate to win of our open events. Wants to tick that off the list.
Well, I think he can start thinking about Ali Pally in December if he were to become UK Open champion.
Thank you, rack 12. Tyler Styer to break, leading 6 racks to 5.
Good break again. Unless he's going to start flying at the bank in the side and trying to run the cue ball around, and he have to play safe.
The way you'd categorise Styer, he adopts the percentage game. You'd never say he was overly cautious. If he sees value, he's prepared to take it on. Now, I don't know about you, Carl, but that seemed a very thuddy contact.
Yeah, I didn't spot it. I was just too busy looking at the blue too to see if it made the bank. Here's a look. Yeah, it sounded a little like a kick shot. His second bank he's missed into a side pocket. The main thing is, look what he's left. Not a great deal. Yeah, what do I do? This is when 9-ball can be a really tough game to play. I mean, he's jacked up. He's got to go for a combination. There's a lot of distance, and this is not dead set. It's got to be made, and he's missed it. It's not a bad shot. It was just a difficult shot.
Yeah, much like the ticklish combination he failed on in rack 11. Nothing awkward, no clusters. Just minding his work.
Extension cool.
Yeah, he's just got a small angle here. He's deciding whether to play it very hard and just stun it off the one rail, but I don't think he can get quite high up the table, or does he go forward? He doesn't mind drawing the ball. That's what he's playing. just a bit wise move. The beep was right on his backswing there. Didn't affect him.
I think this match is a really good advert for the shot clock, because with this level of intensity, you get the feeling these two could get really bogged down if no shot clock was there. When he missed the 8 in the 9th rack to fall 5-4 down, I said it might be a turning point. Instead, Styer now just a couple of balls away from making it 3 racks in succession. To establish a 7-5 lead, with the winning line starting to appear.
Tyler
7-5
Styer
it is. Tyler Styer 4 racks away from appearing in the final of the UK Open.
This is meant to be, like it's my destiny. You better believe me, make it look easy, like it was made for me. I was made for this, build it brick by brick, taking all the risks, so throwing back in the fire. If you wanna make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Is the match slipping away? That's the question that you have to ask yourself regarding Aloysius Yapp. Remember, he went 3-0 up. The first 2 racks, break and run-outs, efficiency in the extreme. But of the last 9 racks, well, he's won only 2 of them. That's why he's 7-5 down, and that's why Tyler Styer has built ahead of steam. By the way, if you're just joining us here at the UK Open in Telford, our first semi-final saw a victory for Jonas Suto, a 23-year-old from Ibiza in Spain, who overcame last year's European Open champion Mickey Kraus. Suto, exuberant, exciting, quick. I'm sure he's going to provide an awful lot of entertainment in tonight's final. But who will he play?
Thank you, rack 13. Tyler Styer to break, leading 7 racks to 5.
Where's the cue ball? No look at the lowest ball though.
Well, considering how close this white came to going in off, I think there will be no feelings of being aggrieved had the white drop there, ball in hand. That might have been a quick rack in favour of Yapp. Just the thinnest sliver of the 2 ball poking out.
Extension called.
And even though you get extra time after the break, Styer thinking that this is the time to ask for his extension. I always think, Carl, it's a real gamble to take your extension in this kind of situation when it might be invaluable a little later on.
Yeah, manage the shot clock. That's what you've got to try and do. Difficult safety he attempted there. This needs to go.
Took a look at the clock in the arena. The extension has already been burned.
Beautiful. Beautiful 2-railer. That's why he didn't bother with the jump cue. He knew he had a chance of potting it.
After that slice of excellence, he's a little unfortunate to leave Orchid King go to the green 6.
Yeah, often when you've got them type of kick shots, it's all about hopefully potting it and staying at the table. Now he can play a good safety. This needs to go. This needs to bounce. Okay, it's not. A little opening on the red 3 here. Bit of distance, might have to strike down on the cue ball. That means you've got to hit it a bit firmer. That means it makes the pot more missable.
Extension call.
Yeah, especially when you've lost 3 racks in succession.
Yeah, I feel like we've not seen much of Aloysius lately. And when you've not had much table time and you're faced with a shot like that, this is what can happen. Nowhere near the pot.
Well, that was terrible, wasn't it? Terrible. Tyler Styer thinks it was delightful.
He doesn't anymore.
Nerve ends are raw.
Both players missing long 3 balls. Watch out, purple. This needs to slow up. He's okay. He's done enough here. Knock this into the far right pocket. And the rack should be over.
This contest continues to hang in the balance. What a crucial rack for Aloysius Yapp to win.
Aloysius Yapp wins the 13th rack.
7-6. When you play a match and you have little chance and you're heavily beaten, Carl, it's a lot easier to take going out of a tournament than when you've played a match like this where everything has been so tight. If this goes all the way, and he loses, they will be feeling sick.
Yeah, nothing really stands out. No one's had, a better break than the other player. It's not really been anything silly missed. I know there's a couple of 3 balls there, but they were long. There was a bit of work to do with the cue ball. It's been very cool, this match from him.
Yeah, normally when you get to this stage of a match, you can say, well, one player maybe deserves a bigger lead. One player's just trying to stick in there, even though he's not got his best stuff. Carl's absolutely right. Okay, Styer does have a 1 rack advantage, but there's nothing to choose between them in terms of the way they've played. No one has been more mistake-prone than the other. No one has been more inspired than the other.
Rack 14. Aloysius Yapp to break. Trailing 7 racks to 6.
Is the 8 ball going to fall? Yes, it is. I'm just about to say the break is letting him down at the minute.
Well, after the first 2 racks that were secured break and run-outs, it's been rather disjointed stuff. Sometimes a break has been dry, sometimes they've knocked in the 1 ball and not dropped on the 2. In this case, it was a random ball that went in.
You can get through to it. Definitely. This ball cuts. Again, often in 9 ball. It's not necessarily the pot that's the issue, it's getting a shot on the blue too. It's got to avoid cannoning balls here. Back down near the pink. Oh, that might be okay. Yeah, okay. Could have been worse. Whenever you're hitting balls, you're never quite sure where it's going to end up.
Yeah, must give credit to the pot on the 1. It was the kind of pot that these players would expect to get, but there's always the slight worry they'll be hit too thick, particularly.
Extension called.
Now then, the pink 4. What options has he got? Does it go in the left centre? Can he drop in behind it, or does he have to pop this ball and go into the 9 and the pink to develop? And it goes in the middle. Nice shot.
No one has enjoyed sustained momentum in the match. You get the impression it's who can produce when it matters most. The way it's gone, I think this could be a really tight run affair.
Yeah, it's took a while to get to this point, but we're really getting to the business end now.
Back, breaking and running for the first time in the case of Yapp since rack number 2. It was 4-4, it was then 5-5, and now it's 7-7. So we started out as a best of 21, a race to 11. It's now a best of 7 from here. has a big advantage for Yapp. He's now assumed the role of favourite again because he gets to break off in rack 15. Now, I told you about the rosy cheeks of Tyler Styer as the match got down towards its crunch. Well, yeah, some red is starting to appear. I've seen some snooker players like that. I think it just underlines what it means to him. He's feeling it because he wants the win so badly.
Here's the stats so far. To separate him, isn't it? Look at that. Styer's potted, well, 22 more balls.
Yeah, the other stat that I find very surprising is that Yapp's in front, even with a pot success rate of 88%. Now in snooker, the benchmark for success is around 90%. So to have an 88% in 9-ball and still be competitive at 7-7, well, what does that say?
Where's the blue 2 going? He's going over the pocket, near the pocket. He's going to have a look at this.
Well, this pot on the 2, easier than the pot he had directly after the break in the previous rack when he knocked in that thin 1.
Yeah, you don't want to roll that ball. You've got to kind of commit to the pot, which he did.
Extension called.
Up off the shot early, he knew there wasn't enough juice in the cue ball.
No temptation. I think he was a big favourite to get a good safety, and he has. He's got a brilliant safety. Now with ball in hand, if Tyler doesn't move the pink and the purple, Aloysius can only play the safety. So he's going to play this really slow. After contact,
Extension
a ball
call.
must hit the rail. This will not be played at speed. Just because if he misses it or he does foul, he doesn't want to disturb that cluster. Yeah, Ben's getting his skates on because after contact, yep, good shot. The pink 4 hit the rail.
Now, because the cluster has been broken apart, and because Yapp's played that almost to the millimetre, this hook could be a lot more profitable.
Well, he's actually got it closer to the 9 this time around. This will be played at pace. Got to get balls moving. Good hit, but he's left the pot. Not much he could do there. The only slight thing you could say about it is maybe it should have been hit with a bit more venom. Try and fluke something.
Yeah, you can't be critical of Styer there. That was a humdinger of a snooker. Had to get hold of the cue ball there to make sure he got the white past the middle pocket.
Yeah, couldn't avoid running into the round 7, so a little bit of heat on this one. You play it firm, pull the cue ball off this left hand side rail and back out for the 8.
Well, that was purely technique. He was up on the shot far, far too early. You're supposed to keep your head still. Aloysius did not.
Yeah, it was a snatch. An opportunity that's gone. And it's at the end of the match. There's not many racks left to be played. You know, when these mistakes happen in the opening 4 or 5 racks, we can be guilty of forgetting about them. But at the end, this is when they really show up.
It's a terrific tussle in Telford, and Tyler Styer regains the lead. It's a slender advantage, 8-7.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
It is the semi-final session at the UK Open Pool, and our first semi-final was won by Jonas Suto. He's a great character from Ibiza in Spain. He loves the game. He's had 2 World 9-Ball Tour ranking event victories already this year. He's got plenty to celebrate. And now, with an 11-5 win over Mickey Kraus, he's got every reason to dance. But will he lead his opponent in the final, the Merry Dance? We don't know who the opponent will be yet. The first semi-final was in stark contrast to the second, when Jonas Suter Camino won. It was a quick vim and vigour match. This one has been a lot more hard fought, a lot lengthier. And now Aloysius Yapp has got to cope with the fact he had a chance to regain the lead in the 15th rack, but he succumbed to the pressure, didn't he, Carl, missing that 7-ball?
Yeah, he couldn't quite get the cue ball where he wanted, and in the end he had to knock in a mid-range 7 at this level. He's got to go, got to be honest, he should not miss it, but he did. He snatched. He didn't deliver the cue smooth as he often does, and as I said before the break, getting to the real meaty part of this
Tyler
match.
Styer to break.
It's 8-7.
Leading 8 racks to 7.
Tyler Styer to break.
And just one other thought about Suto. As the time between sessions dwindles down, his advantage increases. The one finds the centre, but the two not playing ball. Not in terms of being aggressive anyway, but there is a cluster of balls there to hide the cue ball behind.
The 2 balls been racked there, probably.
Styer just having a word there. I couldn't actually understand what he was saying, apart from one word, which was rack. He's obviously not happy with the way it was racked.
You'll be feeling good though. You know, when your opponent misses an opportunity like that near the end of the match, you kind of feel like they might be feeling it. Big favourite to lay a good hook here. Ideally wants to get it under the pink and touching the pink. Wants to take away the jump shot. That was the idea.
Yeah, he's taken away one side cushion as well. And where the green 6 and the brown 7 are, coming off the other side cushion is no picnic.
Extension cool.
What a fluke. What a massive fluke.
The things that you see on a pool table. Doesn't go though, does it? Can he play the carom? Pot the purple 5. Must hit the 3 first. Nice, nicely done.
The way flukes work, if Yapp runs out here, that will be remembered. It will stick in the mind, stick in all of our minds. But if he doesn't, its influence will be significantly reduced. It will be forgotten, basically.
It's amazing, Phil. The previous rack, he missed the 7 ball. He dogged it. He twitched. But for some reason, 9-ball pool has gifted him enough fluke.
Can't imagine he's going to miss the 7 this time. Or the 8.
Yeah, and the 9's up there as well, so 3 balls to go. 8-8. Aloysius will be breaking. And again, the fluke, you know, might not just be this rack that he wins from it.
Yapp wins the 16th rack.
8 racks each it is. You know, world-class 9-ball players, and these two most certainly are world-class, have colossal skill. But so often, a little bit of good fortune goes a million miles.
Yeah, it was a wild fluke though. Just hit the blue too. It wasn't cutting to the corner either. Predicted that.
Yeah, you can stand there all day and not do this again. Not only that, Mark will have obscured himself on the carom, but he avoided the 9-ball, had a clear path through and went from there. So, best of 5 coming up. And now the pendulum has swung again, because as our referee racks the balls meticulously, it is Aloysius Yapp who gets to break in rack 17.
Yeah, Tyler's been here a fair
Rack 17.
few times this week.
Rack 17. Aloysius Yapp to break. Scores are tied. 8 racks each.
Well, I know something, Phil. It would be very cruel if Aloysius Yapp would win the set from here. He's got to look at the blue too, but let's look at where the cue ball has fell. It's going to be awkward cueing this. Yeah, and it's pretty straight, so even if he does try and pot it, there's not a lot for the 3-ball.
Push out call.
4:30. This match is still going ahead. Jonas Suto will be feet up somewhere, relaxing.
Tyler, it's your choice.
Yeah, these guys are well used to playing multiple matches in a day. It's not the physical stamina that's the problem. When you're playing high-stakes pool, it is the mental stamina that you need, and Jonas Suto will come into that final as fresh as a daisy.
of them instances where you just separate the balls, stay in the rack. He'll bring his jump cue and make a decision, but I think it will be the jump shot, trying to pot it in the upper corner. Beautiful. What a jump shot. After witnessing what he's witnessed in the previous rack. Temperament, Phil, that's what you think of when you think of Tyler Styer. He just keeps going.
Yeah, the second time he's knocked in a superb 2 while jumping.
Extension called.
Could have played safe. Could have stayed patient. Decided to go for it. That's up to him.
And his banking hasn't been his best suit in this match. It's been a little inaccurate. A couple of times he's been really unlucky. He came so close to knocking them in, but caught just a little too much jaw, but that was nowhere near.
Extension
Yeah,
called.
and it's Tyler's turn to get a bit of run on the ball. You can't pot this. Well, he could pot it. I thought with him standing up, Phil, he was wondering what shot to play. I think he put a bit of spin on it to turn the ball over. So Styer didn't get away with it. It's a chance.
Carl said it was a chance. Now it's a very good chance. Yapp not in front since 5-4. This will be his tightest match of the entire event. Holding up well though, Aloysius Yapp, really helped by that fluked 2 in rack 16 in the 17th. Well, basically it came down to Tyler Styer's misjudged bank attempt on the 3. Yapp regains the advantage at 9-8. Trying hard to get himself going. When you get to this stage now, you're really hoping that you can deliver, because you know how bad you're going to feel if you lose. The pot success rate of Yapp is improving up to 90%. Much could depend over the next half an hour or so. If it goes that far, would be the break-off of the two players. If someone can find the answer, that could be decisive.
Maybe we should have one where it says flukes, because it was the fluke on the blue too when Aloysius was 8-7 down. Styer had him in a good hook and it was a crazy fluke. He fluked the
Thank you,
two
rack
ball
18.
and
Aloysius Yapp to
he won
break,
the rack, and now he's
leading 9 racks to 8.
9-8 up. In the previous rack, Tyler Styer went full blood on a bank shot. He didn't need to, could have played a safety. He decided to go for it. He missed it. And now it's Yapp to break. A bit like the previous one, or maybe the one before, sorry, where he's missed the one ball, but another ball's gone in.
Yes, in this instance it is the 2 that sneaks in. Now there, he got a clear shot on the 1. Looked as though the purple 5 might block his path, but I don't think it has. Looking to see whether the 1 sneaks past the green 6. Well, they did more than sneak, it went in easily, but Yapp caught it far too thick.
Yeah, it seems to be that type of shot. That was a similar shot to the 7 where you play it with left, try and draw it. Missed it by a long way. Now he's a big favourite to make this bank shot. It sets up pretty good. Gonna try and get the cue ball working round the table though for the red
Extension
3.
call.
Where the cue ball is now would be ideal for the red 3. I don't think he can get there though. Make sure you get the bank. No, you missed a couple. Oh, the bank in the side has not been great for Tyler.
If he wins this match, it would be his biggest individual payday. He wanted to break the bank, as it were. Well, right now the banks are breaking him.
Extension called.
Now that was a more difficult pot in many respects than the 1 ball he missed earlier. He's not only knocked it in, he's got command of the white as well. Removing the 9 ball away as well from the 5 helps matters. Aloysius Yapp really from here should move onto the hill.
Yeah, and the fact that he's missed a couple of balls, he could do with getting on the hill pretty quick because he'll have a little bit of breathing space.
He wanted to miss that 5-ball altogether. Just skimmed off it though, he's okay. He's never been a speed merchant, Aloysius Yapp, but he really is taking his time here, using the shot clock to its fullest extent. Shape from 7 to 8 seems to be the possible stumbling block. Maybe that's clutching at straws because it really should be achieved. This 9-ball surely won't be missed.
Aloysius Yapp
Dispatched,
wins the 18th lap.
and so Aloysius Yapp is 2 up with a possible 3 to play. He's on the hill. Tyler Styer, a couple of banks have proved expensive for him. Yapp leads 10-8.
Do what you want, I came to win.
wanna make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
What a result! Robbie Capito, 22 years of age, he has made the breakthrough at the Bedvictor UK Open. And the reason, in the last 64 he was beaten 10-7 by Aloysius Yapp. Will the man who beat the defending champion go on to be champion himself? Well, first off, there's unfinished business in this semi-final. Yes, he's 10-8 up. But Tyler Styer well capable of winning the last 3 racks and turning this completely around.
Aloysius Yapp to break. On the hill, leading 10 racks to 8.
A couple of matches we've seen this week finished off with a golden break. What about this one? It wasn't golden, but it might have left a golden chance.
Yep, he's got a look at the lowest ball. There is a bit of a cluster going on the bottom left of the table, the purple 5 and the 8. So he's got a bit of work to do there. Don't know about you, Phil, but it would be harsh not to see Tyler Styer back at the table in this match.
It might come down to this shot if he can get shape on the 3 as he desires.
Yeah, if he hits this full, he may have an angle to go into the purple. I don't know. If he doesn't, he'll go into it off the pink. Okay, it's all about this shot. This goes right, he's going to win the match. What kind of shot can he get on the purple 5? He's going to go into him off 2 rails.
Extension called.
Play the hook behind the 8. He's playing the hook. Styer will get back to the table. If this keeps going, well, if I kept going, he might have had a jump shot into the side. He doesn't. That's what Tyler Styer is faced with.
Styer now needing the luck that turned this match around. Laid a tough snooker in the 16th rack. Yapp not only made contact, just about, he outrageously fluked the 2, and ever since he's been on top. The match has been slipping away from his American opponent.
He's coming through the gap in between the brown 7 and the bumblebee, the 9 ball. He's going to hit the purple 5 full, and hopefully it goes in a pocket. Well, that's the worst thing that could have happened, because he's give up ball in hand. Yapp can place it anywhere on the table. This is going to be over. They're all over the pocket.
if this was any other situation apart from one that's highly charged, it would be connecting the dots a certainty. It all flipped on a fluke.
Aloysius Yapp.
There is no win for Wisconsin, but there is success for Singapore. Winning the last 4 racks in an epic battle, Aloysius Yapp into the final of the UK Open. He defeats Tyler Styer by 11 racks to 8. What a battle royal!
Well, what an epic encounter that was. But it is Aloysius Yapp who will go through to the final, where he'll meet Jonas Sutu for a chance to win the UK Open title. So here is confirmation then of the results of our 2 semi-finals this afternoon. Jonas Sutu came through 11-5 over Mickey Krause. He's into his first Matchroom Major final, and Aloysius Yapp 11-8 the final score against Tyler Styer. But my goodness, that was a fairly epic encounter and an incredibly tight one actually, really, when you think about it. Neck and neck for vast swathes of the encounter. Jeremy Jones is alongside me, and Jeremy, my goodness, that one was really back and forth. It was so hard to separate those two for most of the match, really.
Yeah, race to 11, and you get maybe 5 or 6 lead changes. That's a pretty special match, regardless. A couple mistakes here and there, a few little lucky things. I think it was at 9-8 for, was it 9-8 maybe, or 8-8, 8-7, something like that for Yapp. He got a pretty good roll, but then he finished.
He certainly
Straight. Fans this week, I think Tyler's done the same.
It's interesting as well, isn't it, when you look ahead now to this final and Yapp against Suto. 2 very different styles of play, because Jonas Suto dashes around this table, moves so quickly, plays fast. Aloysius Yapp takes his time. How's this one going to play out?
Yeah, you might label it the tortoise and the hare a little bit. I don't know, but